Greetings, everyone. It's great to be with you. Great to be learning with you. Today, our presentation is entitled Cosmic Consciousness 3. As the title suggests, it's a follow-up of two earlier Cosmic Consciousness presentations by the Department of Instruction. By way of introduction, we'll say that a central purpose of the Rosicrucian Order, AMORC, is to assist us in coming into the full maturation as a human being in the consciousness of the cosmic. What are the characteristics of this cosmic consciousness? How is it directed to make our lives, relationships, and environment more harmonious? These are things that we'll consider in our presentation today, and we'll participate in a meditation exercise shortly to help stimulate this state in our daily lives. I'll put up now an image to help us enter into the meditative state and cosmic attunement. You'll see now before you a work entitled Cosmic Face. It's by the artist Michael White. I first saw this work 4 decades ago, and it made a very deep impression on me, and has so ever since. It was in an exhibit that was held every year at the Woodland Cultural Center in Brantford, Ontario, for the traditional lands of the Six Nation of the Haudenosaunee, or the Iroquois. Michael White himself is an Indigenous person. Incarnated in 1946, he was born in Algonac, Michigan, between Detroit and Port Huron, close to Lake St. Clair, on the traditional lands of the Anishinaabeg, known by the British and later American settlers as the Chippewa. In this wonderful work, in a way, we see an expression of the cosmic consciousness, whereas past Imperator A. Spencer Lewis and past Imperator Ralph M. Lewis emphasized that when we have these impressions of the cosmic mind, we need to express them, live them. Part of the reason we had them is to share with others, to help draw all up into that great uplifting experience, which is our birthright, the consciousness of the cosmic. This time I'll let you gaze upon the work. In a way, it may remind you some of sitting at your home sanctum with the mirror before you, and you see your human visage, your face in the mirror. But at times, the master within comes forward, or the divine within, for some of the most uplifting experiences of our life. In our micro temple, that is the home sanctum in our home. You'll see around the face various celestial objects, including towards the lower right, spiraling galaxy, reminding us in some ways of our own home in the Milky Way galaxy. The face seems to come in and out of the cosmos, particularly by the way that it's depicted in the lower right, coming out from the cosmos or being absorbed back into the cosmos. As Rosicrucians, we use technical terms of the spirit and the vital life force. When they're perfectly combined, it's the nous, or the nous is composed of those. The spirit is the energy, the physical reality. The vital life force is that force that charges us and animates us. In a way, we see a wonderful depiction, not only of cosmic consciousness, but of the nous before us. We'll begin our meditation, and I suggested this time, if you're comfortable, keep your eyes open for a while and gaze into the eyes of the cosmic face. In a way, the artist Michael White has an experience of the cosmic, and his work is like a vibrating tuning fork. And as we become receptive, we start to vibrate at the same level that he was on the octave cosmic keyboard. And we start to regain and enter into the experience he had, but it moves into the universal. I invite you now, if you're comfortable, to be situated however you wish, lying down, seated in a chair, whatever works well for you. For all these positions are possible for meditation. If you're seated in a chair, you may wish to have your spine upright, or however you're situated, have your spine straight so you can breathe in an unencumbered way. Because an important key to meditation and the mastery of life is in our breath, a surprisingly simple act. But when it's mastered, it does so much to invigorate us and keep us on the mystical path, as surprising as that may seem. Just enjoy looking in the eyes and the gentle rhythm of the breath, with the incoming of the breath increasingly sense the divine within suggested by the eyes before you. And with the outgoing of the breath, experience this vagus nerve being activated, particularly when we extend the exhalation. There'll be automatically the relaxation response that gives us that great calmness that's so necessary for healing, no matter what condition you may have. And there's always opportunity to become even more healthy, more whole. Just continue to look into the eyes of the cosmic face. With each breath going deeper into the experience with prolonged exhalation, feeling increasingly the charge, the calmness, the healing. I think you'll find too that the vital life force is all the more sensed, particularly the cosmic essence, as we become more sensitive as we meditate. In a way, we're looking into our eyes of ourselves, our true nature, the divine within, the master within, at one with the one, shifting from self-consciousness into cosmic consciousness. Just enjoy the exhilaration of the experience, being who we truly are, and have always been and always will be. Find your mind wandering, just lovingly and gently bring it back to the discipline of the breath, aware of the presence of the divine within. And if you're inclined now, you may wish to close your eyes, invigorated and purified of the inhalation and the exhalation, particularly with the prolongation of the exhalation. Feel the increased sensitivity, the holy temple, the body, and the flow of the vital life force within. Just continue with the breaths. No, at times we may feel discouraged that our mind is often wandering, but it isn't the meditation the cause of that. Meditation is just helping us to be more sensitive to realize the general state of affairs in our life. Psychologists make a general estimate that our minds are wandering about 50% of the time. Yes, it's about half of the time. But one of the wonderful things about our weekly Rosicrucian lessons, the practice of meditation daily, is that we gain attentional control, just like when you do calisthenics. You do push-ups, that strengthens our arm, or weight lifts, that strengthens arms. So as we keep returning back to the discipline of the breath, our attentional control is strengthened. We're no longer wandering 50% of the time, but less and less. We can stay on task, a major step forward in the mastery of life. We can listen to others better. We can concentrate better. We can do what needs to be done better. In other words, we become more competent on the way to self-mastery. Now that we've done this preliminary breathing exercise, which is a form of meditation in itself, I invite you now to apply the instructions of a key meditation document of the Rosicrucians, the booklet Liber 777, which will give you resources on towards the end of this presentation. But we'll follow its instructions now, and we'll rise up into the cosmic, in a way like rising up into the cosmic mind depicted by Michael's work, the cosmic face. Being purified and applying the law of purification through the breathing exercises. Let's apply now a prayer and invocation that will further its purification, cosmic attunement. I invite you to say with me, inwardly or outwardly, may the divine essence of the cosmic infuse my being and cleanse me of all impurities of mind and body, that I may enter the celestial sanctum and attune in pureness and in worthiness. So mote it be. Now let us use all our inner psychic faculties, our full imaginative capabilities to picture ourselves rising up from the room where we are, or wherever we're situated, up over our home or dwelling or building, looking down upon it, and keep rising up over our neighborhood or local geographic area, and then up over our village, town, or city, seeing below the system and order, streets, and the landforms. Keep rising up and see now below us our state or province, the great weather systems, the rivers, the lakes, the seas, the deserts, the farmlands, the mountains, the hill, whatever is applicable to your area. And let us keep up, going up faster and faster, enjoying the exhilaration of the ascent, just like we're enjoying the exhilarating feeling of the vital life force blowing through our bodies. See now our entire great nation or country, the great system and order. As we rise higher and higher, see now the entire continent where we dwell, and the entire hemisphere. And now the wondrous view of the beautiful blue jewel of the earth rotating about its axis, along with beautiful white moon with its craters revolving about our earth. Then look up, going faster and faster, way beyond the speed of light now, as we transcend space and time, increasingly surrender to the divine within, and let it continue the great journey we're undertaking to the center of the cosmos. See now the great fiery ball of the sun and the great elliptical orbits of the planets. Saturn with its rings and the huge planet of Jupiter, smaller planets and their orderly courses, such as Mars, Mercury, and Venus, and feel their psychic vibrations coming off to them and enriching us, and radiate in kind back to them. And look up from our solar system to our even greater home in the Milky Way galaxy. As we rise up, go by myriad stellar phenomena, the pulsars, the quasars, the black holes, helping balance the universe, and the rogue planets and the asteroids. Enjoy the beauty of it all. And keep rising up past nebula, supernova, a wondrous pattern and order and colors and vibrations. Sense now the full range on the cosmic keyboard, the great sea of vibrations, which is our home, the Milky Way galaxy, and enter into this experience more deeply. For as we rise up, we'll apply the law of correspondence, going deeper and deeper within ourselves as we go higher and higher into the cosmos. And I'll exit right out at tremendous speed from the Milky Way galaxy and look back at its great spiraling arms. As it rotates about its center, place many black holes. And look up and see other galaxies and other planets and stars. And sense what the ancients have spoken of since time immemorial, the music of the spheres. Wondrous music and sound that artists on earth seek to imitate, for as above, so below. And continue your great journey upward, following the instructions of the booklet Liber 777, Enjoy the tremendous speed you're moving at with the help of the divine within and all your psychic capabilities and imaginative strength. As you rise up faster and faster, increasingly surrender. Be receptive to the divine within, cosmic mind. The Rosicrucians use the term cosmic, refer to the universal intelligence back of the universe, just like symbolically portrayed in the artwork we saw. And also use the cosmic to refer to all natural and spiritual laws of which we've been applying. Law of correspondence, law of cosmic attunement, and many more. Can you rise up and we pass nebulae and galaxies and clusters of galaxies, even superclusters of galaxies? Start to sense now the universe as a whole, one stupendous unity, revolving about a great axis spoken of since ancient times, the cosmic axis. I invite you to sense the universe revolving about a great axis. And let us head towards that axis's midpoint with great joy and exhilaration and rapidity of movement. And when you come close to that midpoint, slow up and stop there and take in the expansive realization and view of the entire cosmos. You see it revolving about you, just as our lives revolve about the axis of our spine, the holy temple of the body. A microcosm mirroring the macrocosm. And all these beautiful spiritual concepts and laws, they're astounding experiences for us to have now and always, increasingly realize. It's part of why we do the meditation daily. It's part of why we study our Rosicrucian lessons daily and weekly, apply them. For in the application, in the experience, we come truly to know and to serve. And then we're all the more worthy of the experience of cosmic consciousness. And the successive illuminations it involves. Following now the instructions of Liber 777, I invite you to visualize, if you've not already, your personal celestial sanctum, mirroring away our home sanctum on the temple of the earth. Fill in the sights and sounds and all the impressions of all the senses and all the psychic faculties. You may wish to picture too all those on this teleconference call with you now. And the officers of our orders, the Grand Masters, the Imperator may be conducting a special sacred convocation at this time. And sense the presence of the visible masters and the invisible masters. And all seekers. Increasingly sense consciousness of the cosmic, the center of the cosmos, at the center of our being. When you visualize well on all levels, release your visualization. Let us apply the law of silence. To dwell silently, yet in the presence of great energy, like being in the eye of a hurricane. Enjoy the exhilaration of the silence. Its great enrichment. In the silence, we increasingly have the opportunity to experience tremendous peace, what Rosicrucian traditionally call peace profound. Just continue to surrender to the divine within. Enter increasingly into the consciousness of the cosmic. From the finite plane to the infinite plane. Now, in this state of cosmic attunement, this increasing consciousness of the cosmic, let us apply the law of service. So this attunement with the cosmic will be fulfilled and justified. Let us radiate love and well-being to all those who've petitioned our Grand Lodge, the Rosicrucian Order AMORC. In this way, we'll form a silent council in conjunction with the Council of Solace of our Grand Lodge to radiate love and well-being from our hearts and minds to those who have petitioned the Grand Lodge for guidance and healing. And let us radiate love and well-being to all those who have petitioned our affiliate bodies of the Rosicrucian Order AMORC for guidance and healing. And let us radiate love and well-being to all those you know that are in need of guidance and healing. And finally, let us radiate love and well-being to all sentient beings throughout the cosmos who are in need of guidance and healing. And as these rays go out from you, like a great spotlight into the universe, picture your mind expanding out into the cosmic mind. The tremendous love and well-being go out to all in need, filling the cosmos and reaching all in need. The divine within knows how to do this. Surrender and let it do that. Feel the exhilaration of it, just as you felt the exhilaration to rising up the heights of the celestial sanctum. Applying the law of service intensifies the application of the law of cosmic attunement. Just let the love and well-being radiate to all in need as your mind becomes one with the cosmic mind. So let the love and well-being flow. Without conscious effort, just let it happen. Faster and faster. Knowing your need, you're reaching those in need. For as each rises up into the cosmic, So all are drawn up into the cosmic. Soon we'll formally conclude this period of work of sending metaphysical aid, but we'll continue the meditation. To conclude this work of the Silent Council in conjunction with the Council of Solace, the Grand Lodge of the Rosicrucian Order, AMORC, I invite you to say with me, if it pleases the cosmic, it is done, so mote it be. Now let us continue to be one with the one cosmic mind, allowing the work of metaphysical aid to continue, but letting it go, to let it continue its own inner deep way. As we dwell in the cosmic mind, let us be rejuvenated, remade, reintegrated, not only for ourselves, but all other sentient beings throughout the cosmos, so assisted. In this manner, we become fully ourselves. Experience the deep familiarity of this experience. And before we formally conclude our period of meditation and descend from the heights of the celestial sanctum, you may wish to apply the law of gratitude, but it helps even more to invoke the law of cosmic attunement, expressing our love and thanks to all those who have assisted us well, to all those who have sacrificed for us, to all those who have taught us well, to all those who have shown us the mystical path in life. Now let us begin to ascend from the heights of the celestial sanctum, falling again at a tremendous speed beyond the speed of light, past the myriad superclusters of galaxies, and clusters of galaxies, and galaxies, and nebula, the myriad stars and stellar phenomena, the pulsars, the quasars, the black holes, the wonder and beauty and the wondrous music of it all. Full range of vibrations on the cosmic keyboard spoken of the Rosicrucians, a harmony of the spheres. Let's go faster and faster back towards our Milky Way galaxy, which you can see in the distance now. It's great spiraling action. Let us plunge into that great body, past myriad stars and stellar phenomena, rogue planets and asteroids, interstellar gases, various stars of different sizes and stages in their life cycle, and see in the distance the great fiery ball of our sun and our wondrous home, the Milky Way galaxy and the beautiful elliptical orbits. See the Earth like a spaceship, the temple of the earth. See it rotating about its axis with the moon, and come back to the hemisphere where we left off, the continent, great nation or country, province or state, or geographic area or village or town, city. And before we formally conclude our period of meditation, I invite you to say with me, may the God of my heart sanctify this attunement of self with the celestial sanctum. So mote it be. Let us continue to send down in our neighborhood, the home or building or dwelling where we left off, the room, however we're situated, lying down or seated or otherwise. And when you're ready, you may wish to stretch and open your eyes, letting the consciousness of the cosmic all the more soaked into your being, all the more operating through it in our different forms of consciousness, remade, rejuvenated, and all the more ready for our mission and lives in the work and worship of the Rosicrucian Order AMORC, this day and always. Great, thank you everyone. Now let us continue with our presentation, Cosmic Consciousness 3, in a way so well exemplified before us in the Cosmic Face work of art. Cosmic consciousness is that consciousness radiating from the divine, which pervades all space and all things, and having vitality, mind, constructive power, divine intelligence. And the Rosicrucians being very practical, orientated towards the mastery of life. That's why we had the experience of it first. And then we can all more well understand it. It's very important in our lives, applying the law of triangle, where we can get the intellectual understanding of a concept or a principle, but also the emotional experience of it, and the psychic experience of it, and the mystical experience, and those come together. There's the opportunity for mastership and its full expression and service at the third point of the triangle, when we balance the first two poles, the base of the triangle well. Now in our weekly teachings of the Rosicrucians, everything in a way is geared towards this experience of cosmic consciousness, so we can be greater servants or co-creators with the cosmic. This is our birthright and destiny and a way before us. To explain this a little more, I want to show you a simplified form of the Rosicrucian schematic diagram of mental processes, which you've seen before, and some of you have seen in a more detailed way in your weekly lessons, the Rosicrucians. You'll see before us here like a map, consciousness, but they all represent an experience within ourselves and throughout the cosmos. We take in the external world through our five senses, or whatever one's culture one's raised in is designated as senses. There's those senses through vibration, or the law of vibration, stimulate our objective consciousness. We take in those sense impressions, whether they be smelling, hearing, and so forth. That imagery is then transferred to what we refer to as our subjective consciousness or subjective mind, that then can reason and interpret those with inductive reasoning and deductive reasoning, and can gather deeper from the subconscious mind impressions that associate with that or understand through our memory. So our long-term memories in the subconscious. Our habits are like laws in the subconscious that we work to purify and change and grow in. The overarching consciousness is that of the cosmic here. In a way, the subconscious mind, the subjective mind, the objective mind, or are all imbued with a cosmic mind, or you could say consciousness of the cosmic mind. imbues and guides the subconscious and the subjective consciousness and the objective consciousness. That is because in the cosmic mind, we experience all, but it still allows us to have our self-consciousness as needed. Indeed, we become more fully ourselves, even more individualistic, but we're more fully expressing the universal. First, it can seem like a paradox, but it's just the way the individual elements of our local environment are drawn and the culture we were raised in are expressed. You'll find too in this diagram a way, something very helpful to keep coming back to, because in a way it explains our experience and way of life. Sometimes the term Christ consciousness is used for the equivalent to cosmic consciousness. And if you're particularly inclined to Christian, deep Christian aspects of that particular religion's teachings and its mystical expression, you may like the term Christ consciousness. The Rosicrucian Order, AMORC, is not a religion, but it helps us have a much more profound understanding if we have a chosen religion, and prefers the term generally of cosmic consciousness because it's more universal. And indeed, the experience of the cosmic is universal in its nature. But when it floods into our subconscious, subjective consciousness, objective consciousness, it takes on the particularities of time and space coming out from the timeless, which is in the cosmic. Now, as was pointed out in the Rosicrucian manual, which I'll give a reference to, that the complete functioning on the psychic plane for a few minutes or hours at a time as desired, they are contacting the personality of the invisible masters, is a condition much desired by all mystics. It is attained by careful study and preparation. Many preliminary experiments, such as we do in our weekly Rosicrucian lessons, and a pureness of purpose. You note how we emphasize the law of purification in our meditation exercise. It is in this way that cosmic illumination or cosmic consciousness is realized. There's many wonderful instructions of that Rosicrucian manual, much of it written earlier through the cosmic experience, Dr. H. Spencer Lewis, Past Imperative. Now, I would also like to mention that, and in looking at this diagram before us, that often it's emphasized in spiritual and religious traditions, the development of the virtues. Indeed, we must be purified through the development of the virtues, and our cosmic attunement will assist us in developing those virtues. And in fact, the source of the virtues, such as kindness and tolerance or understanding, you prefer, have their basis and their source in the cosmic, in the divine within. And as we experience the divine within, that cosmic consciousness, those virtues come flowing out from us. But also as we work on the finite plane, their outer self, to be virtuous, be kind, be understanding, be compassionate, and many more. All those that help attune us with the cosmic and draw us towards the cosmic mind, just like our outer nature, like being a sponge, absorbing the water of the cosmic consciousness. We keep that individuality of the outer self, which is the sponge, but the water transforms the nature of the sponge in a way as our true nature and guide in life, the divine within, to give guidance to the outer self. In fact, on the mystical path, it's true, it's highly personal, and yet it's universal. It's highly personal because of the factors of the objective consciousness, subjective consciousness, but also our particular surroundings and where we incarnated and where we needed to have our lessons on the temple of the earth. But as we mature and grow, our lessons become more and more universal, or more and more of the cosmic. Our capacity to love is greater and greater because we're moving into the divine within's capacity to love. Indeed, in the experience of cosmic consciousness, we're able to love far more greatly than we ever had before. One way to describe an aspect of the cosmic state or the cosmic consciousness state is if you can imagine someone you've loved tremendously, but then loving them 10 times stronger, and then loving everyone that strong. And it's done with ease. That starts to give us a taste of the cosmic sense. And once one has had that experience, in a way, one ever wants to come back to it. I know, for example, many of you have seen the movie Lion. Part of it was set in India. There was a young boy that got on a train and lost contact with his beloved mother. He ended up being adopted by a family in Australia. But he remembered from a young age, as he grew up into adulthood, some of his earlier impressions coming out from the subconscious mind. And through this cosmic attunement, he was able to find in India where he had grown up. He was able to find his mother again. And she had stayed there in the hope that even decades later, that he would find and come back to her. And their reunion was very profound. And the whole village is around in tears in a way that is like on an earthly way, projecting what it is for the outer self to come and marry the inner self. We want to have that intense drive and vigor and passion towards the cosmic, the divine within. That will draw to us the cosmic mind, and also will be more motivated to do what we need to do in this life, to be of assistance to others. And that will intensely develop the virtues, and we'll have a tremendous drive to learn from our lessons weekly in the Rosicrucians, and to give back in our affiliated bodies or whatever way we can in service in our careers. Now, also in continuing this matter of cosmic consciousness and its great lessons for us in life, let me mention that sometimes we wonder, well, why do we meditate the way we do? Well, there's a variety of different methods of meditation in the Rosicrucian Order, but each of them are based on cosmic attunement, the principle of the microcosm, the macrocosm. For example, the instructions of the book Liber 777 are actually based on the experience of cosmic consciousness, the way we entered into the cosmos. And I know some of you have had the experience of cosmic consciousness where you felt that you were at the center of the cosmos. Well, in a way, the way we ascended into the cosmos today was applying that experience of cosmic consciousness. And then it helps us experience the cosmic consciousness. Just as Michael White's face of the picture of the cosmic face helped us experience his experience of the cosmic consciousness, but having it in our own unique and universal way. We may feel too that we wish we entered the Rosicrucian Order and got these teachings so much sooner, but we must realize that it was necessary for us to learn and to be ready. The Rosicrucian teachings are similar, and any time is the right time once we're ready to move on the mystical path and start. And even if no matter when we enter into the Rosicrucian teachings, so we have the strong drive to continue them, we have the opportunity for the holy temple when it's young again and incarnated again, to come back to the order and spiritual teachings, and will be awaited. Now, I remember one of my mentors in the Rosicrucian tradition mentioned to me their father was a Christian minister. One day later in his life, she was still living with him. He actually got into her Rosicrucian studies and monographs, and they were private in nature. But he was so wondering, what is she studying? What is she getting into? It seems to be so helpful for her. And he looked over a few of the monographs, and he later said to her that I've been looking for this all my life. So he had that experience. And he knew much more deeply what the Master Yeshua had been telling him since his childhood. And with that strong impression, he was able to pass through transition and return back to us, where we awaited him. It's important too that in the experience of cosmic consciousness, as I mentioned earlier, we have that increased capacity to express the virtues. Now, many may not really wish to hear about the experience of cosmic consciousness that we're talking about today. Indeed, they may be antagonized by it. So we may have to use discretion and just say or do what is needed. But in general, people appreciate kindness and the virtues in action and character. The cosmic experience will help us in having those things as we work with our lessons and discipline ourselves. The reasons for all things that we've experienced in our life, things that have caused us great concern or may even trouble us, we'll find the reasons for those things when we experience cosmic consciousness. Indeed, through the practice of the virtues, that assists us in attuning with the inner self, who knows why we had to go through these various types of experiences and accepts and embraces them. As past imperator H. Spencer Lewis encouraged us to do. I know to the outer self, this is a very tall order at times, but the inner self is far stronger, far more capable. And it is our guide in life, always has been, always will be. The outer self never has and never will be. It's not its job, and that's fine. You know, sometimes maybe we wonder, well, where is this cosmic consciousness that's in our society and so forth? It's imbued throughout it. Often it's in subtle ways. All the great discoveries and guidances and heroic actions had an upliftment in the cosmic mind. Often things we're very familiar with, we're surprised that have the cosmic mind in, like when reading sacred text, when we've had that cosmic consciousness experience or taste of it, what's being conveyed in sacred text is far more clear, far more brilliant to us, far more real, and why it was said often in those memorable story tales. You know, too, we may have read some inspiring poetry like Walt Whitman's that is written from a cosmic sense, or we may have read Shakespeare's work. And sometimes if you look at Shakespeare's work as sonnets, its plays as a whole, if you look at them as a whole, you get a sense of a person conveying to us the virtues, the actions of the outer self, and the cosmic mind at work back of it. That's part of the tremendous attraction of Shakespeare down through the generations and sacred texts more generally. Yeah, there's various things that assist us in having this cosmic conscious experience, the weekly lessons of the monograph, the daily meditation practices, the visualization, the sending of metaphysical aid, the various work that we do with vowel sounds and the psychic centers and many more exercises of Rosicrucians. They all help us as we develop the subconscious mind, having the proper laws within it, the psychic faculties being developed, our reasoning developed in the subconscious, I should say in the subjective mind, and the outer objective mind being tuned. All those phases of mind and consciousness help us to have that deep balance that we need to take the superstructure of cosmic consciousness, which is imbued in all these things. Also, it's good to have a rich storehouse of images. It can be from reading poetry and study of science and disciplines, because that helps clothe these deep impressions that come from the cosmic mind, have more to work with to clothe our outer impressions so the outer self understands and then can work more with the inner self in that fashion. Also, as we move more into the cosmic sense, many remarkable things start to happen. Many latent talents come out. People will be surprised what we're able to do. Where did that come from? Or how is that so highly developed already? We're so strong. They could be in the arts and the sciences, in languages, many, many different things. We have the impression that past incarnations are coming to us more, and even have a sense more who we were and how we acted, but more importantly, what were the lessons? Also, there's a great purging going on. It's often spoken of the period of purgation or self-discipline, and also the dark night of the soul, the obscure night. It relates to what was said that the Master Yeshua said according to the Gospel of Thomas. In Elaine Pagel's translation, the Master Jesus or Yeshua said, if you bring forth what is within you, you will bring forth what will save you. If you do not bring forth what is within you, what you will not bring forth will destroy you. So you see often in very deep, symbolic, spiritual ways with the cosmic senses is expressed how we need to grow, how we need to learn. And the save has to do with that coming into the cosmic experience. Indeed, also with that exaltation of the cosmic sense, there's an increasing past imperator Ralph and Lewis referred to as a sobriety, that deep sense of balance and equilibrium that is great healing for ourselves and others. With the cosmic sense, colors become more vivid. Our senses become heightened. There's increased sensitivity, but we know now more what to do with that increased psychic and sensitivity of the senses and emotions. All things come to us more what traditional mystics have described as the signatures. Each thing has a deeper sign in relation to us in terms of what happens to in our lives, how flowers and trees appear, how the Milky Way appears. All these things are great and holy in their lessons. All the things that great teachers and mystics have said become more intimate to us, not things of the distant past, but we become more the living tradition of these things. We have more of a sense of all the great spiritual traditions of the world, but more from within us. We're more in a way seeing it from outside. We're within the cosmic face looking out. Now also, in a way, the spiritual traditions of the world don't become something distant, or great teachers were in distance at different times. We become more of those things imbued within us. And we more become the living tradition, not for self-aggrandizement. We must be humble and surrender into this to let it unfold. But we become more the living experience of these things and can be more of assistance and service to others through it. We see more how the holy temple of our body, in a way, is the housing of the master within. And we have the divine laboratory of the cosmos about us for these lessons. Everything's interconnected in a very deep, meaningful way. I'll say a few more things in terms of finishing up on talking about the cosmic consciousness experience. It's true that it can be a gradual process, like past Grand Master Robert E. D'Angelo mentions, because our lives are a bit like being by a great lake or seashore or lakeshore. Things gradually move over time, but then there's a certain point where there's a tremendous leap made. But even that, in illuminative experience, has been gradually built up to by our dedication, by our service, by working with the virtues, applying the weekly lessons of our monographs. It's true at times there can be something particularly poignant that happens to us when we're ready. Juan de la Cruz, or St. John of the Cross, when he was held in prison, heard outside his cell a particularly poignant song in Spanish about surrender and letting go and dying in love. And with that, he let go, similar to the Gautama the Buddha let go into the Bodhi tree. And then he was surrendered to the divine within. And the full experience of the cosmic mind came forward to him. But a tremendous preparation had to be done before that. Now, by way of conclusion, I will say that in the experience of the cosmic sense, the consciousness of the cosmic consciousness, there's a gnosis and illumination that comes forward. And we need to apply it in the world, applying the law of creativity, where we had the experience, not so much for the upliftment and exaltation, though that is wonderful, but was actually to allow us to express it in the world, to help be of service and uplift others, and also to have that in our memory, to live it, to remember it, to draw it back, so we can keep having that water of the cosmic sense, the divine within, increasingly soaking up in our being, and we become more universally minded, more at one with the one. And we can continue with this realization of the consciousness of the cosmic as a way of life. Indeed, this is a central purpose of the Rosicrucian studies. So we've talked today some about the characteristics of cosmic consciousness. Now we can direct it in our lives, in relationships, in our environment, to make them more harmonious. Indeed, Continue to explore how this unforgettable realization of this all-embracing form of consciousness transfigures us, makes us whole, and increases our capacity for service. Thank you.